Hi, my name is Sam McCoy and I'm here outside of Baker University's Center for ABW Newstime. See, we're covering something that happened a few days ago. On February 1st, there was a protest held outside the courthouse on Court Street on the courthouse steps. There's a lot of court in that sentence, but here's the important part. They were protesting Donald Trump's immigration ban from 7 countries in the Middle East. And so the protest led its way from there, marching through the streets all the way down to Baker Center, where the students gathered, about 150 of them at one point, in the atrium. It was a sit-in, there were signs, there was singing, people even sent them food like pizza. It was a good time for all. Except for the university, as it turns out, because the students were eventually issued a verbal warning saying that they were illegally trespassing and they had to disperse in a given time frame or else they would be physically removed by police officers. So it's this location where over 150 students were sitting and protesting with their cardboard signs, much like this one, and it was at the same location where about 70 plus students were arrested and taken over there to the ballroom. Hi, excuse me, are you aware that you are sitting in Baker Center?
Yes.
Okay, are you aware that you might get arrested for doing so?
No.
Okay, well that's the thing, is that Ohio University might decide that you are blocking traffic right now and you might actually get kicked out of here, but I was wondering if you agree with this.
I do.
Yep, sitting's not a crime. People agree with it. Now, illegal trespassing does take place with 5 circumstances, this being the 5th, which is being issued a verbal warning by an authority figure and then not complying with the removal order. The students stayed in because that's the point of a sit-in, and before you know it, around 70 students that had remained were being arrested with zip ties, and they actually ran out of zip ties, and they were physically removing students out of the atrium and putting them in the ballroom of Baker. Hi, I just want to let you know that you are currently sitting in Baker Center right now, and sitting in here might get you arrested. What do you think about that?
Where else should I go?
You know, that's a good question. Now, the reason they were removed is because it was reportedly a fire hazard that people couldn't get out of the building. But while these are the 3 entrances that were blocked off by student protesters, there's also an exit here, 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 there, here, 3 entrances here, 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 all these ones at the loading docks, and here. So when people say that it was a fire hazard to have people sitting in front of those 3 doors, some people think it was a little wrong and a little weird. Speaking of fire hazard, that is the name of the DJ I'm most excited to see at Numberfest. Have you seen that lineup? It is amazing. Anyway, adding to that, there were many people who were active protesters who were testifying that they were making paths for people to go through. They weren't obstructing the flow of traffic. However, it does come down to the university's decision overall on what buildings you can and can't sit in, apparently. But there was a precedent from previous protests, that was a lot of P's, alliteration achieved, saying that people were free to stay in there. There have been protests that stayed in the atrium until it closed. And it was nowhere near closing when the people got arrested. And there were also counter-protesters who showed up to antagonize people, and they were saying stuff like, oh, you just gotta let it go, you can't keep holding on to this thing, like, come on, just accept it already. And you know what? Sure, that makes a lot of sense. Like that time when people kept saying that, I don't know, President Obama wasn't born in America, and we said, hey, let it go, here's proof that you're wrong. Wait, who was the guy who really didn't let go? Oh, right!
Not be true.
Well, I don't know. According to you, it's not true. I don't know.
He released his birth certificate.
You know, if you believe that.
So there are a lot of people who were upset. Loud cars. All I want is to inform the public, but there's so much noise out here. We can't film in there. Because weather. So with over 70 arrests, people were really upset at what happened. There was outrage from alumni, and there were also alumni condemning the protesters, saying they should have dispersed when they were told to. However, the point of a sit-in is to not leave. So I would say, even though they were arrested, it was a success. In fact, they got more attention than they probably would have had there been no arrests at all. So they actually got their message out there even more. People are kind of pissed about this, which I think is kind of the hallmark of a successful protest. What do you think?
Exactly, guys.
I don't exercise my right to sit here.
Look, man, you might obstruct traffic going through here.
Well, that sounds like their problem. The fact that people got arrested for protesting and arrested for letting their voices be heard, it's kind of like giving them a reason to actually go out and do something.
Protesting is not really my thing. I've never protested before this week. I'd rather sit at home most of the time. I've got papers to grade and papers to write, as many of you probably do too. But I feel compelled to be out here because the core values of what our community has been built upon are under attack. And we must communicate with those around us why we are here, what we want our community to be, and to ensure that the values that this community has been built upon continue on into the future. I believe that there's a lot of fear in this country right now. I believe that most of that is because they have not been exposed to what the international community, to what the people who together make this nation and community what it is, they haven't experienced it. We have to communicate. And that's why we're here today. We together are going to march that way and communicate to the Ohio University community and show them just what we think about what's going on right now.
Where was I? What was I talking about? That's right. So there were many people saying that the protest should have been allowed to continue and that the police response was unwarranted. There was no fire hazard and that they should have been allowed to stay there. However, oh, that guy just fell off his bike. The police department really should not be blamed for this. The police were doing their job, the job they are paid to do, which is to protect the student body. The march just ended over here. The police were lovely here. They helped out, they were guiding, they had their sirens on, making sure that cars weren't getting in the way. They helped out with traffic. It was great. The only thing that I'm criticizing is the reason that the cops were called to Baker in the first place, which again, I think was a garbage excuse. No smoking, no biking, no riding rollerblades while skateboarding, no pets. I don't see no sitting anywhere. It's weird. However, if you think that it was completely justified and warranted, that is your opinion. You're welcome to it. So thank you very much for watching ABW News Time. I've been Sam McCoy, and I hope that you've learned a little bit more about the situation that went down on February 1st. That's right, we're in February, not January. 2017, what happened? In Baker University Center in the atrium with over 70 plus student arrests. And if you'd like to see any of the other things that we do at News Time, you can click right over here, or right here, or you can subscribe to the channel by clicking like over in this general direction. If you do any of those things, I probably won't come and personally give you a News Time sticker. I probably won't do it, but I might if you click on one of those things. So do it, and maybe, probably not, I'll come and personally give you. I have so many of these stickers. I'll maybe